The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hey, we're back. We never went anywhere, but we're back.
No, we've been spinning our wheels quite thoroughly for 10 years now.
Yes.
Stuck in the delicious mire that is your questions that come from our Patreon over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Oh, we have so many questions. Let's do at least some of them.
Okay.
We will answer a lot of them on this episode, so let's do that. First, Swagmaster E starts us off. How would the cast of Drogoon be affected to bonding with a Venom symbiote? How would it change their personality, and how screwed is everyone when it bonds with wind? Oh boy.
Very, because then the intrusive thoughts are just thoughts.
I kind of thought that's how wind was to begin with. Like, the intrusive thoughts were just thoughts for her.
She knows that she needs to rein things in on occasion, and that's why life sucks.
Yeah, it's true.
And then when we are, I don't know, Venom, it's just, let's bite everything.
Yeah, true.
That should solve all the world's problems. And she's probably not 100% wrong either.
Now I'm imagining Wind doing the Bully Maguire dance.
Let's see.
Boy.
Foreign would do the Peter Parker thing. He would try to wrangle it back, try to exert control, try to keep it in check, but still have the desire to just let loose. But no, he must persevere. Jobun, he's too lazy for it to really have any great effect.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Like, would he care?
He's just sitting there in the cockpit saying, "Oh, I reached that level for me. Don't want to raise my arm." And Symbiont just kind of slithers off. Just forget this guy. Lissy reforms it.
Okay.
If anything can turn the Venom symbiote into a vegetarian, it's Lissy.
Yeah.
Maybe she's got the snaggle teeth and the crazy eyes, but it's like, "We are happy to see you. Please have a seat. We shall bring you tea and pastries."
All right, here's one from Maiden7479. If you were to write a Zelda story that had to take place in Hyrule with Link, Zelda, and the Master Sword, with Ganondorf as the main villain, what would you do to add some spice to it, or to stop it from becoming just another Zelda story?
Well, I mean, it's The Legend of Zelda. By default, it's going to be a Zelda story.
I mean, yeah.
Although most of them are more like Link's story, and Zelda might factor into it. What I would like to do, or at least one idea I've had, is kind of a remix of the Ocarina of Time premise, but much more long form, where Link is a young boy when darkness falls upon Hyrule, and he grows up under Ganon's rule and gets the Ocarina, is sent back in time. Maybe the Ocarina's not even a factor. Maybe some other time MacGuffin sends him back, and he's a kid again, and he knows what's coming, so he runs. And first time, maybe he winds up in Kokiri Forest, and through that lifetime learns the ways of the woods, learns his archery, learns forest magic, and is there to stand against Ganon's forces, but it's not enough. And he's caught again, and he winds up right back to where he was, and then boop, rebooted. He's a kid again. Okay, the forest didn't save him. We're going to run into the mountains to the Gorons, out to the coast to the Zoras. And each time he learns and he grows and he becomes more powerful. And one of these loops, he figures, he's going to be preemptive. He's going straight into the Gerudo Desert. He's going to find this Ganondorf fella before he becomes a problem and save everybody. And he meets Child Ganondorf. The Ganondorf who is born into the prophecy of that he must be king of the Gerudo because he's the first male born every 100 years. in a society that typically is fairly not male friendly, who just happens to have a couple of evil witches who are like, this could be a great evil king, and see if Link can like steer him away from that path, or he becomes our window into understanding why he becomes the great king of evil.
Maybe Link is the reason why Ganondorf goes evil.
Maybe. I mean,
as a child, which would be pretty funny.
That's the problem with the time travel thing is, how much do you create a stable time loop and whatever?
Yeah.
And then ultimately it's, Link, who has lived through countless lifetimes learning and growing in skills and experience, is finally ready to just stop the ever-living crap out of Ganon and save all of Hyrule. And then somewhere in there is a parallel story about Zelda, who is trying to make things right. And maybe each time she's almost got it, there's some kind of hiccup in the space-time continuum. What keeps causing this reset? Who keeps messing up her plan? She's almost figured this out.
Oh no.
Who is this twink who keeps grabbing the Triforce? Stop it.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No. Is Zelda living in her own Groundhog Day? Is this Groundhog Day chic?
Maybe have Sheik be somewhat antagonistic at first, cool shadow ninja out of nowhere trying to stop Link. You think, this is a evil version of Sheik or whatever. It's like, no, Sheik is trying to protect the main timeline. Link, stop it. And then, they come to understand they're both working towards the same end, which is to save Hyrule. They're just coming at it from different angles.
Okay.
I'm not saying this is like the way to do it, or even if this is a fully thought out idea. It's just something I've toyed with in the back of my head every now and again.
That would be pretty cool. I kind of like that whole idea. It's like, stop. Stop messing around with it. I'm trying to fix it, damn it.
I also just like the mental image of, a few loops in and Link's parents, uncle, parental figure.
Yeah.
Staring down the oncoming army and that knows to come for Link for whatever, for time travel reasons. It's like, Link, run for the forest or the coast or something. And Link just like grabs the butcher knife off the wall in a potlet. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
There's no weapons in the house his size, but he knows how to wield these things, and he's just like taking out Wolfos left, right, and center, and parental figure's like, Link, you okay, buddy?
Nice. All right, a Lowland Figment has a question. If you could train for a month under anyone in the Street Fighter cast, who would it be?
Blanca.
Why Blanca?
Well, I'm going to die under any of them. At least Blanca's fun.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think of who would be... Well, I don't know. I think even Dan would probably kill us.
By accident, but
yes. Yeah. I mean...
Most of them would be well-meaning.
I think so, yes.
There's no way I can keep up with any of their regimens. Not even Rufus. Come on now.
No. I don't think so. If I had to choose, I guess. I'm trying to think. Like either someone who's relatively low impact in comparison, but I mean, I don't think that really any of them are. Not really. No.
But I mean, electroshock and face biting aside, Blanca's really just a big teddy bear of a guy.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, so is Zangief until, he starts actually training you, and then,
Yeah.
Then he pull you apart.
And then he puts you back together. He needs you like tiny Play-Doh man. Soap works!
Exactly. Oh, boy. So I guess our answer is nobody, but I mean, unless we had a death wish.
That and Blanca's Bumble King colors, so
that's
I gotta
true.
stay on brand.
All right. Andrew D asks, it's time for more Anti-Mega Man. This time, Worlds Unite. Just as you did with Worlds Collide, you can be as general as you need to be and skip over the Speedy Green Guy's parts as much as you have to. But I wonder, would all the other universes be anti-versions as well? How does this story and this massive gathering of anti-worlds play out?
I think we've hit my limit.
I think this might be a bit too much of a...
I
can't even remember all of the different worlds in Worlds Unite. There were a lot.
Okay, maybe instead of anti-versions of all the cameos, it's just like all the ones that got rejected or are obscure, so you're like, why would you choose this? Instead of Alex Kidd, you get Kid Chameleon.
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright actually shows up, but he gets like taken off in the same panel.
Captain Commando instead of Final Fight. Was Final Fight even in there? Final Fight wasn't even in.
No.
Oh well.
Virtua Fighter instead of Street Fighter.
No, Virtua Fighter would have been fine. It would have been thematically appropriate and would have made sense and would have fallen in there.
Yeah, but there hasn't been a new Virtual Fighter in how. Well, I put in Alex Kidd. When did he have a game? Never mind.
It's all this Virtua Fighter hate. Where'd that come from?
Look, you bring up Street Fighter, and my immediate answer is the Crazy Monster Man. Where's the Crazy Monster Man in Virtua Fighter?
Virtua Fighter is supposed to be more grounded and realistic. Yeah, that's the whole idea. That's kind of the whole point.
Give me my elven space lad who defeats monsters with rock, paper, scissors. Give me my hairy monster man who goes... None of this actual fighting with techniques nonsense. Blah.
Maybe it's Tekken for some reason. That has silly monster men. That has silly monster people.
That's true. I guess for the premise, if we're keeping with anti-Mega Man, Sigma is some kind of benevolent computer virus that just tries to bring world peace.
A white hat computer virus. Good.
And X and the Hunters are just trying to delete him, so he goes across dimensions to find an ally, anything to help save his time and space. And we go from there. So I guess that means all the anti-heroes are just one big aligned kill squad trying to ensure that the future is doomed. Good night.
Wow. What have we come to? This is wow. I don't think this book would have lasted nearly as long in this fashion.
Who knows?
But at the same time, be funny, be entertaining. Anyway, Comic the Hedgehog asks, we all know that Flintheart Glomgold will not be told what to do by anyone. We also know that Foghorn Leghorn will not be told to shut up, nor will he be ignored. What happens when Foghorn Leghorn starts lecturing Glomgold? How will this clash of titans play out?
First off, it's going to be that Glomgold hires Foghorn Leghorn as a consultant. And Foghorn figures out real quick Glomgold's an idiot. So he can use him as much as he wants. The problem is Foghorn doesn't shut up. So he's going to just keep digging a hole for himself until Glomgold eventually comes around and realizes he's being played, or at the very least gets, tired of him. And then it just turns into one extremely long-winded screaming match between the two of them.
Yeah. Does Glomgold get confused thinking that Foghorn was Steelbeak? I guess Allison is tired because now, oh great, there's two of them. As if she doesn't have enough problems. Oi.
Allison, I'll say, Allison, where's that memo I asked you to write up? It's like 45 pages long, sir, and you were only speaking for 15 minutes. Allison, what is that report? It's 45 pages long, and you were only speaking for 15 minutes. We've blown the budget on copy paper just for one day of discourse. That sounds more like a ye problem than mine.
I say. It's all I say, all. The whole page is nothing but I say. Oh, man. All right. Darth Lord has a question. I've noticed when answering my Starfrex questions, you mentioned command as part of the timeline. If you had the power, would you do the entire fandom a favor and axe command from the timeline? Although I do like the Marcus ending.
Now. Everything has some degree of merit.
When it comes to Ian Flynn, everything is canon. You should remember this.
I have a problem, Kyle.
I know you do.
But I think there's enough optional paths and endings in Command that you can get a decent conclusion to most of the characters and set up the next generation with Marcus. And you don't really have to dwell on the finer details necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Anglars were perfectly fine for an enemy race, and making Venom a habitable planet and actually progressing something in the Bloody Lilac system, neat idea. Don't know if I fully jump on board with the idea of, Andros was actually a good scientist until he went evil. Not so sure about that one, but I don't know. There's enough neat ideas in Command that I don't want to throw it out wholesale.
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of Star Fox rebooting itself every time. So
now,
having something that actually progresses things a bit is good, even if the game itself is not super great. Although I haven't played it, so I can't make a call on that. But it seems like most people don't like it. But oh well. It's like one of the only Star Fox games I haven't played now that I think about it. Jeez, I should probably do something about that.
If we're going to keep Dinosaur Planet on the timeline, we can keep Command.
Yeah. Keep Dino Planet around. And Double L is back. Buckle up. We've got the longest text adventure of our lives continuing right now. To recap, remember, me and Ian share a body. When we're in a room, there are 2 doors, a bed, and a window. There's 1 reinforced metal sheet covering a cracked window. There's a friendly mouse hiding in a hole. And we have 5 dust bunnies in our inventory. Our previous actions were for us to check doors. Check door and check more different door. So to resolve that, Ian, you look toward the door on your left. This metal door is large and reinforced, similar to the shielding on the window. It looks solid and heavy, like it's meant to keep something dangerous out or in. At the base of the door is a mail slot-sized slit, likely to send food in. And for me, I focus on the door on the right. This door appears much flimsier with a symbol at eye level. I don't recognize the symbol, but as I approach to look closer, it slides open on its own, revealing a small bathroom. It contains a toilet sink and a very small shower. You feel something small crawl up your side quickly. Deli appears on your shoulder, wearing a tiny travel hat and a pair of tiny baby carriers strapped to his front and back, each carrier containing a delicious morsel.
Okay, boss, all packed up. Let's head on off to Zanakakan, whatever.
You now have 1 delicious mouse and 2 tiny delicious mouse in your inventory.
Okay, so little disturbing that they can watch us do stuff in the bathroom, but
you surprised?
We're Monster Man trapped in. No, not wrong. Now they think they got us locked in here, so I'm assuming security is kind of lax.
Yeah,
sure, we smashed the window, but they locked us in, so. Mm-hmm. That's general procedure. The fools have that food slot in the other door, and I'm willing to bet you a tiny morsel that our big old Monster Man hand, at least one, can fit into that food slot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I am proposing to you here, fellow mind companion, that we do our best to grip said food slot and use our tremendous reptilian strength to remove the door from our path.
Let's give it a shot. I won't stop you.
Perhaps we get double initiative if we are in agreement.
Maybe. We'll see what Double L decides. Here's one from Dove. Ian, if you were asked to write a story in an established game universe that cannot involve the main cast of said franchise, is there one you'd want to write? What world would you love to play in, given the chance?
Well, I know this might be the standard answer, but Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah.
It's a big enough world with enough unique cultures and locations that you could take any of the extended cast, any of the crew you can recruit, any of the NPCs you meet, and just kind of do a day in the life of. Look around the world, see what a normal bit of day-to-day life is for a sky sailor, or for someone in the Valhalla army or in any of them. Like before Valhalla really started invading everyone, and see what that was like. What is the takeover? What does that do to the world? Or follow it up after the game. Vice is the legendary hero of everyone. He led the United Fleet to save the world. What does that mean to the everyman? Someone who wasn't part of that fleet, but did see the sky get real dark and that giant eyeball moon thing was there. What was that? And it went away. Nobody's talking about this. Okay.
All right.
These flying sardines are supposed to get over to Ixataka, right? All right, here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised you would want to go that route, but,
And I feel like, what we did with Archie Mega Man.
Yeah.
Follow any of the other doctors in their research, or look at the state of machines in that world, or shoot any of the Mega Mans. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, really.
X-Zero, ZX, Advent, Legends. Again, just explore the world. What exists outside of the core group, and how does the main cast's adventures affect that greater world?
Mm-hmm. All right. FMS Draws asks, so consider the following. Mega Man characters in Deltarune. What are their outfits? What are their powers? And how are Light and Wily the heroes of the prophecy? No, really. Wily would love to know, because he is hardly believing Ralsei.
Wily is the Susie stand-in, but is far more problematic.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
How do you talk about Deltarune at all without being spoilery?
Yeah, whatever. I'm just to say spoiler alert at the beginning, and then you can talk about it freely.
Okay, fine. Spoiler alert. This is going to be talking about Deltarune stuff. Although I don't want to put too fine a point on it, because I don't see how these puzzle pieces fit together quite right. Like, so Light and Wily, and I guess by the wording of this question, Ralsei, are the heroes of prophecy. And I'm just tickled to death by the idea of Dr. Light dressing as Dark World Chris. Like, just straight up 1-for-1.
Okay.
Like, maybe that suit's a little rounder around the middle, but he's got the cape, and, his hair's kind of styled over his eyes, and he keeps kind of pushing it out of the way because he can't see. Wily would be perfectly fine in Susie's Dark World outfit. Let's be honest. The spikes, the flowing coat cape thing, hitting things with an axe. Yeah, he's fine with that. Perfectly fine. What he's not fine with is being told not to hit things, Ralsei.
Is it Ralsei? I don't know. Pronunciation. Don't worry about it. The game. If they wanted us to know how these names were pronounced, they'd have voice acting.
Fluffy boy. All right, Fluffy boy.
Yes.
And beyond that, you got Light agreeing that yes, we have to take the pacifistic route at all times. Mm-hmm. And Wily's like, they're trying to attack us. Retaliate! And they just keep kind of going back and forth until they somewhat balance out.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I guess that's the whole thing. You got to have that balance in Undertale, Deltarune. So,
I tell you what, Wily is not beating the secret boss of Chapter 4, though. He is not going to get that right.
Oh, boy.
He is not going to appreciate what's being said. He's not going to... No. He is not getting that axe.
No.
Hammer. Weapon. Whatever it was.
That thing.
I certainly didn't get it, but that's a skill issue.
Oh, well. At least you know it.
I've gotten through Chapter 4.
Yeah.
And when I finished Chapter 3, I'm like, I guess I missed the secret boss. Phooey.
Yeah.
And one, yes, I did miss the one secret boss. But two, the other secret boss, I thought you had to lose that fight.
Oh.
And then seeing people actually get through it, I don't understand how you do this without slowing the game down by 25%. How do you have reflexes? How do you have the visual acuity? How do you react like that? I do not understand. No. Like, I wanted to go through and get all the dark shards or whatever it is. No, absolutely not. Secret Boss Chapter 3, Unavoidable 1. No, that broken. Cannot be done.
Apparently, the more you try to beat it, the easier it gets.
I don't care. I got 3 screens in. I'm not going to get further than that.
No, it literally does get easier. Like, the game makes the boss literally easier.
I've heard that for the Chapter 4 one.
Okay.
Still no. And it's really frustrating because I know I've gotten within like 2 screens of the ending of that one, but I can't do it.
Lee is in the chat right now saying, I told him to try it again.
I tried it a couple times, and it kind of just ground me into the dirt like a cigarette butt. And I'm like, you know what?
Dude,
I'm good moving forward.
You remember, this is Undertale Deltarune. It's all about determination.
Yeah, well, I'm one of the monster race, I guess. I just fade to dust. You beat me, I'm done. I just evaporate.
No. Oh.
That's what the internet is for me to see what actual competent gamers can do. Also, I thought I was being thorough this time looking for fun stuff, and I missed so much stuff. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I apparently I play it poorly, and I will play it enough for my enjoyment, and then I will allow the internet to show me why I'm bad at the game and learn about the rest.
Did you ever play Hollow Knight?
Yes. Never finished it, though.
Did you hate it? Was it too hard?
I know I raged at it, but
okay,
that was also a skill issue. Like there wasn't ever really a moment in it where I felt like it was being unfair. It was just brutal. So
I asked.
That's on me.
I asked because Straub said I feel like Ian would rage at Hollow Knight.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. There were definitely moments where I couldn't even make words anymore. It was just guttural snarls. But again, I acknowledge it's me. The game gave me all the tools and mechanics and chances. I just cannot execute it. So
yeah.
I have to butt in.
Okay, hi Lee.
I
know there was that big fat collector guy that I beat for you.
Okay.
Okay, so if I try to ask if it was the 3 Mantis boss, did I do that one for you?
Maybe.
So I feel like there was another one, but I don't.
You could say I beat this one for you, and I probably just nod along. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
And that was a hard fight. Let me put it this way, for those of you who want more context. Chapter 4, the climbing segment, she had to do that for me. I couldn't do the climbing segment, okay? And you want me to try the hidden boss? No! I'm just going to finish the game. Thank you very much. God, I hope it doesn't get any harder in Chapter 5. I'll just have to watch it on YouTube.
I guess Lee needs to beat all your games.
I
mean, she is the one who won a Smash Brothers tournament, and and also like just like absolutely wrecked shop at Splatoon. So between all of us, I think Lee is the one with the most gamer credentials. But
easily.
All right, we got one last question before I take a break. It's from Hero Squad. Wario and Waluigi with a symbiote. How does it go?
Wario eats it. I think this bubblegum has no flavor. And it bonds to Waluigi and immediately unbonds. Oh, God.
No.
What was that? No. No. Just crawls into Wario's mouth. Into me. No, not again. Bad touch.
The symbiote is not happy.
Which is too bad because it sets itself up for War Venom.
Mm-hmm. The question is, which one is Wa Venom? I guess the answer is yes.
Maybe just like Waluigi bonds to Wario, just like jumps on his shoulders and they morph into something.
It's an extra tall symbiote. It's a symbiote. It's two guys in a trench coat and a symbiote. That's what it is. Let's take a quick break. Come back with more on this episode of the BumbleKast.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Jobs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can cut that, right?
No, we can cut that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee the Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast.
Ciao!
Welcome back. We have a question from Jara. Huzzah! With my Day in the Life series behind us, and now that I have a good grasp of each realm on the ground, as it were, I have more questions to better flesh out my understanding of the realms in Drogoon. This time I want to ask about Enchantiheim, and more specifically, the cuisine. What do they have for food? What are some varieties and regional delicacies within the realm, or genres of food, as it were? What are some examples of street food, home cooking, fancy restaurant fare?
So the one positive you can say about Galaxant is that with all the trade between the realms, all food varieties are technically available.
Sure.
So you can get regional delicacies just about anywhere you go. The more touristy the area, the more broad the palette and more watered down, you could argue. But if we're talking specific Enchantiheim stuff, what they primarily produce are varieties of mushroom and honeys, various syrups and what have you. So a lot of their food is, glazed, it's sweetened, or it is a variety of some form of mushroom. And this is both real world, hearty, earthy mushroom and fantasy world. Some of these mushrooms are actually filled with like delicious cream filling. So pretty much anything goes. You remember in Hook, the movie Hook,
Mm-hmm.
and the banquet with the Lost Boys with all of the fanciful food that was probably just like whipped cream with food coloring for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that.
Okay.
That just grows naturally in Enchantiheim.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you have lots of everything is very sparkly. Lots of like rock sugary type strands, and everything looks especially glistening to some way, whether it's actually glazed or if it's just enchanted to look that way. So lots of very appealing food, lots of very easy like stir fry, cook up quick, lots of kebab stuff. And really when it comes down to degrees of it, it's just how much you're dressing it up and charging for it.
Mm-hmm.
You go to some fancy highfalutin wine pairing type dinner, you're going to get probably the same thing you can find on the street market. Just, it costs an extra 5 times.
Are there slime molds? That's what I'm being asked. Are slime molds naturally occurring?
Yep. And those range from, actual edible to, no, don't touch those. What are you doing? Are you an idiot? Tourist? Don't eat that. And this kind of ties into a general distrust of the Enchanti as tricksters, because you're likely to run into somebody go, oh yeah, no, that's totally an edible one. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Lick it. And no, you shouldn't.
No. If they're trying to tell you to eat it, then you probably shouldn't.
Yeah. No, the Enchanti like a good drink, a good song, and enough food to keep your stomach settled as you continue to consume the drink and the song.
Yes. Alrighty. Jeremy and Rachel have a question. I really enjoyed the discussion my elemental magic question sparked last time. Sparked. Following up on my story, the adventuring party work together as a closely knit group and support each other with their magic. I was partially inspired by Chrono Trigger's team attacks and the spells in the game Magicka. What are some of your favorite examples of team attacks? They don't have to involve elemental magic, but bonus points if they do.
I mean, Chrono Trigger is really one of the best examples.
Yeah.
That immediately springs to mind.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, any character throwing another character physically is always a winner in my book, but...
It is rather satisfying when you put a good team comp together for Genshin and all the elemental reactions just chain off each other and numbers get big.
Yes.
But the game is kind of designed so that you can pretty much throw anybody into the mix and you're going to have some level of success.
For the most part, yeah. Although
some way better than others, but it's hard to go wrong.
Sometimes damage application can be a bit slow and tedious and difficult, or but you know, yeah.
Not elemental specifically, but in Tales of Berseria, some characters, every character has a mystic art, which is their special cinematic attack, and some of them got dual mystic arts. And my personal favorite is you have Rokuro, who is basically a dude who was so into swordplay and slashing people, he became a demon, driven by the desire to use swordplay and slash up people. So he's perfectly fine with this fate. And Aizen, who is the manliest man to ever man, he is a pirate, and they have this kind of running buddy feud. Like, they're just as likely to kill each other as to hang out together. And it feels supernatural. And I love that game's cast. Anyway, their dual mystic art is they, basically say to one another that they want to fight and see who's truly the strongest between the two of them. But first, this one has to die. And then they just double team whatever poor sap is targeted and woe be unto that poor sap who was targeted. And it's just, it's satisfying. Again, Tales of Berseria, is basically you play as the villain party, and it is so much fun.
That does sound good.
God, it's my favorite cast easily out of any of the Tales of games. And that's, granted, it's carried a lot by Aizen, because, dude, what organ do I have to sacrifice to what demon to become Aizen? Just the pinnacle of man. But, and there's other dual mystic arts and they're fun too, but just the two of them, we're fighting each other, but actually we have to kill this enemy first before we can settle our grudge. Pow pow! Good stuff. Good stuff. I guess what ultimately it comes down to is, are the character interactions for these dual or triple arts satisfying? Not just in the razzle dazzle, but in the character interaction. Like, you got a real sense of camaraderie from the Chrono Trigger combos that you could do.
Yeah.
And Genshin might be pretty and fun and numbers get big, but there isn't really a lot of character behind it in most cases. And then Berseria, I'm going out on this long rambling tangent because I just love how these characters bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes literally. So there's
true.
The game mechanic, sure, but what is the meaning behind it? What is it that causes these characters to come together magically or just systematically that makes it feel good to do?
Yeah. I don't really have much else to add. But there were some people in the chat who were confused. Did you mean supernatural as in supernatural, or as in it felt supernatural, like it was a natural
it
fit?
Felt exceedingly natural.
Okay. There was just some confusion about that, I guess. Okay. Quishpin asks, how do you feel about fish out of water stories? I personally am sick of this trope and think there's better ways to do world building. Depends.
Depends on how it's executed. If now having the character who is your fish out of water be your audience surrogate to lead you through the world makes enough sense, and it's a very easy vehicle to do it.
Yeah.
But there has to be a reason why that character is out of the mix. You know, what is it about their situation that makes them need to learn what's going on? If you just kind of plop them into the narrative and it's like, oh, they have amnesia or they don't know why they're there, I can understand that being a little tiresome.
Yeah.
What's their motivation? What does it come from? It can tie into the greater narrative, sure, but I feel like you need to at least seed that idea first and foremost, because you need that character. If that character is going to be the driving force through your world, we need to care about them and why they're going through that world.
Exactly.
If you're just throwing it in there to be the audience surrogate, then I guess it could work if it was like a blank slate avatar, like you are imposing your own personality and views on the character. But that's a level of insertion that I don't think you're asking about.
Yeah. A good example that came up in the chat, although more comedic, is Fry from Futurama.
Yeah.
It's just the way he bounces off like the other characters who know more about this world generally than he does, at least at first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just him sort of like, not only he leans into more of the goofy, eccentric, insane things that kind of go on in Futurama. And he's like, yeah, this is just kind of like how it is, you know, for the most part. He's like, he's right there with the rest of the cast in terms of just being like an exceedingly eccentric and sometimes terrible person.
Right. I remember hearing somewhere that originally that was the intention, that he was, you know, the man out of time.
Right.
But they realized he was too stupid to really function that way, so he just fell in with all the others.
Well, yeah, that's really the main thing. It's like he's too dumb to really worry too much about things being not like it was when he was not like his own time.
And then he kind of ceases to be the fish out of water. He's there.
Yeah. He's still the character we mostly follow, though, so.
True. But that just makes him the protagonist, not really the fish out of water trope specifically.
Right.
At least functionally.
Yeah. Question from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Tell me something, Mr. Flynn. You ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight?
You want to go nuts, Scurvy Pirate Hog? Let's get nuts!
You know why I got these scars? Wait, hold on. That's a different one. Soccercott asks, how much different would the Harry Potter movies be if Tom Riddle / Lord Voldemort was a communist? I don't know. Help me, Ian. Do you know what this means?
Well, just that there were, I assumed there were overt Nazi / fascist overtones.
Yeah.
With the character, but really when you come down to a character like that, it doesn't matter what political leaning they're going. It's all self-serving in the end.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you say what you want the base to hear, you rally them to your cause, and then you use them to your ends. So nothing really would have changed.
Not really, probably. I don't know enough about Harry Potter to say for sure, but yeah, probably not. Spoiler 1001 asks, have you ever forgotten a word and when trying to look it up to remember it, found out it didn't mean what you thought it meant?
Unfortunately, frequently.
Yeah. I was going to say, I've had this come up for myself multiple times. Like, oh yeah, I guess that word does not mean that. Well,
I forget, we were watching something and just in passing, the video talked about how this word originated from this and actually means this now. And I'm like, oh, I've been using it wrong all this time.
Yeah.
Frequently.
Yeah.
Time to go bury myself in sand.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of like the example of Donkey Kong being called Donkey Kong because donkey means stubborn, but donkey also has other meanings and also means other things. It's like, whoops. Screwed that one up, but hey, you know what? You launched your multi-billion-dollar franchise on that name, so I guess you have to keep it now. Strawberry has a question. Ian, your kitchen has been replaced with a singular large black cauldron that hangs above an open fire, with a very long spoon to stir its contents. What's for dinner?
Replaced?
No, that's been there the whole time.
I don't have a big play strawberry. That's all we can fit in here.
Yeah.
Thankfully, if Genshin or Zelda has taught me anything, I just have to throw all the raw ingredients in there, stir a couple times, and boom,
it's done. Yes, just make sure you push the button right at the correct moment as the thing moves across, and then boom, it's done.
We've also established that I'm not good at video games and timing, so my cooking isn't the best, but it's not like the worst outcome, okay?
Which is funny.
I don't serve Lee anything that's a pixelated plate. You can at least tell that once was a chicken.
Well, I mean, in Genshin, they give you a rather wide margin to not screw it up. Even if it's just... Even if you don't make something delicious, it's just a regular version. It's still like a big whole area. Are you telling me you missed that?
There has been the occasion.
I mean, there's been the occasion where I'll accidentally press the button again, trying to select it in the menu and accidentally make something horrible, but...
Anyway, we have a question for you, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
This one comes from the Oddly Roger. Hey, Kyle, you recently mentioned that your favorite Castlevania game is Castlevania Bloodlines, released on the Genesis.
One of them.
Bloodlines happens to be my favorite game in the franchise as well.
Good.
Will you grant me the pleasure of hearing another fan of this game speak its praises? Any memorable set pieces that stand out? Did you enjoy playing as John Morris or Eric Lecard?
Eric Lecard, yeah.
More? Any thoughts about the time period that it's taking place? And most importantly, how about that soundtrack?
The soundtrack, of course. The soundtrack is one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites. Some of the set pieces, weirdly enough, come up again, like the reflecting pool. That comes up in another Konami game for the Sega Genesis, Rocket Knight Adventures. They kind of don't repeat that, but they use sort of the same tech. I think that Rocket Knight Adventures, I forget which came first, Bloodlines, Castlevania Bloodlines, or Rocket Knight Adventures. One of them sort of like set the stage for like, how do we use the Genesis? Because Konami didn't really bother with Sega Genesis until a bit later on into the system's life. And they mostly stuck with Nintendo, kind of like Capcom did. But eventually they came over, and I believe Bloodlines was one of the earlier games for that partnership. And yeah, I mean, they made the Genesis do some things, man. And they made it sing, because that soundtrack, whoo boy. Soundtrack's one of the best in the franchise. I generally played as John just because whipping things is more fun to me, but Eric's game is fun too. They're not really all that different. They do have some differences though. But it's I don't know, really, it's just a solid Castlevania 2D, like linear Castlevania adventure. Like there's nothing, there's no frills. It's just you, a whip, and some vampires, or a spear in Eric's case, and some vampires. It's good stuff. I like it a lot. It sort of leans into the early 1900s sort of American Victorian era stuff. I think that's interesting. Geez, I'm just trying to think of like what the big tower thing is showing things that like unique aspects of what the Genesis was capable of, and like the big tower fight, ascending the tower, and the reflecting pool, and there's some other sequences as well that are really cool. There's a boss that's kind of made up of different separate pieces that then all combine together and then move kind of robotically. It's a bit like some of the bosses in Gunstar Heroes. And I thought that was a really unique and cool thing that they did with that game. So yeah, Castlevania Bloodlines. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Please, if you have not played it, play it. Especially if you enjoy Castlevania games, you won't regret it. You gotta get some of that blast processing. Twilord asks, congratulations, Ian. You find yourself in the same position as the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh!, but with Dragoon. Your one-off episode about an underdeveloped board game has caught fire, and you now have to write your story around promoting it, all while making a fortune. Thoughts?
Drogoon is built for spinoffs.
Uh-huh. You anticipated this.
If for whatever reason Drogoon Dungeon Dice Monsters equivalent becomes a thing, sure, it can be a thing. Maybe even bring in somebody else who actually knows how to write that style of story that focuses on gaming with a tangential plot attached to it. Let them mint the money and fund the rest of the Drogoon spinoffs. No. Success is what you make of it.
Exactly.
And would I be bitter that the main series gets maybe a paltry handful of readers while this mindless, gimmicky spinoff makes all the money? Yes.
Of course
but
you would.
I will console myself as I, take my private jet to my pure golden castle flying over Australia.
Merchandising. And Vineclad has a prompt for you, Ian. A Mega Man one-shot focusing on the supporting cast with Reggae as the main antagonist. How's it go?
Reggae gets okay. Wily says something backhanded to Reggae. So Reggae decides to prove himself by antagonizing the supporting cast. It's Halloween monster movie night at Light Labs, and Reggae shuts off the power and trolls them, and they think there is some actual terrifying poltergeist, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees type thing after them, and it's just Reggae pulling harmless pranks, and they are making it way worse for themselves than it actually is.
Sounds good to me. And our last question is another Drogoon question from Wildcard717.
G-darn.
It's wedding season. Do the different cultures in Galaxant have marriage customs?
Oh, they absolutely do. I'll try to keep this light so this episode doesn't run for 3 hours. In Ajeheim, if you're just like a normal citizen, it's not necessarily a big to-do, and it's a little bittersweet because it's the losing of one family member into another family member. It's kind of treated like transplanting a beloved plant because trees are a huge inspiration for their culture. So, you're happy that your family is growing and moving and lives are, growing in their own direction, but also bittersweet because you're losing a part of your literal family tree that your circle is shrinking ever so slightly. So it's not a somber occasion, but it's not like a full ripper of a party at the same time. There's a little bit of ceremony to it, but it's usually kept low key, especially because the extended families get freaking ridiculous. Ajay families are big. If you're royalty, though, this is a big to-do because it's not just a marriage, it's a political alliance. This is reshaping the boundaries of not individual trees, but like whole forests. So it is a big to-do, and that has got a lot more pomp and circumstance going to it because you need a lot of people to come in and pay their admission price to make this work. In Drofheim, the Drof are generally pretty low key about everything. They'll partner up and split ways without much of a fuss 9 times out of 10. And if they get into any kind of interspecies relationship, they'll usually default to whatever the local custom is and be kind of happy with it. They're kind of chill like that. In Shantyheim, they love an excuse to party, like any excuse to party. But because they are much more community and collective based societally, they kind of usually do it in waves. So around like springtime, you'll have like that's the major wedding season, or you'll have like these massive wedding parties of multiple couples coming together all at once as just this giant like fiesta of marriages, hundreds of couples at a time, because that's just what you do. You all get together, you celebrate. not a lot of work gets done within like a month frame time. Lots of parties. And quick caveat, there's always exceptions to the rule. There will be folks who go extravagant. There's folks who want to do something a little more low key. There's the ones who just want to do like the formal paperwork and they're done with it. There's all sorts of folks in this world, but I'm talking broad strokes. Let's see. Humaheim is much more business oriented because the bloodlines and family trees are very closely monitored. You can have a big wedding, something that we would be more familiar with, high quality tux, dress, flowers, live band, whatever. But you have to get your paperwork done first. Like if you commit before you do your paperwork, you get into serious trouble. A fine is the best outcome. You have to make sure that all of that is aligned first. Bank accounts, housing situation, what lineages are where, blood tests submitted. Everything has to be done first before you can actually do the I-dos. Which kind of kills some of the romance for a lot of people, but you don't say no to let's see, is it which pillar? Discipline?
I'm being told to like Vogons.
Vogon?
Yeah.
Not familiar with Vogon.
Vogon. I'm trying to remember what. From Hitchhiker's Guide. There we go.
Okay. Let's see. The Nerman, that is such a broad topic that you can't just generalize one, because there are so many different subcultures within the Nerman themselves. Some don't practice marriage at all. Some of them are a actual structural polyamory. Some of them are more closely traditional family oriented. Some of them are just they are the collective group. There is no individual pairings. It's just, this is the clan. You are part of this. There is no smaller, nuanced connections. It really depends on who you're talking about. They do think differently down there. And Argesheim, that draws a lot of parallels with Ageheim, because the families are the individual political units, and any gain or loss of personnel, to put it bluntly, is a big to-do. So it can be a political alliance. It can be two clans coming together. It could be a way to broker peace. It could be part of a greater trade negotiation. Very rarely is it a romantic thing, which is why Humeheim's romance novel industry is huge in Orgesheim. Like the idea of marrying and being with one individual just because you want to is such a foreign concept. It's such a romantic idea that they dig it a lot. And some of them are like, oh, it's just a harmless fantasy that those weird non-scaly ones do. No problem with that. And others going, this is a toxic idea that is destabilizing the youth. Get rid of that nonsense.
Uh-oh. Scary. Well, speaking of destabilizing, have we destabilized into the end of this episode? I don't know what that means.
Assuming I was stable to begin with.
Yeah, I know. That's a bold assumption on this show. Stability? What's that? I don't know. Anyway.
That's going to wrap us up. Thank you so much, as always, for your support over on patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, or by being a YouTube member. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
We're out of here. The core is too unstable, Ian. We can't contain it.
Just fire in more dilithium crystals. There's a scary thought. Glom gold upon the Enterprise.
Oh, no.
Screw you, Borg. You're going to join my collective.
Oh, no.
Flying around in a giant die. You don't even have spots on the side. Gonna roll to you across the galaxy. Boxcars, everything coming up. Glom gold. Yeah.
I'm out. I'm done. I got nothing. Strawberry has a question. Ian, your kitchen is ribbon. Wow, I don't know what my problem is.
Take 3.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Little side note. We didn't get the chance to bring it up in an episode, but I've been slowly picking away at Death Stranding 2.
Okay.
And not to spoil anything for anyone listening, but without context, I still don't think this is going to make sense to anyone.
What? Like the original game did? Much less a sequel?
If you're wondering if it's as wild as the first one, let me just say that my mission to rescue the kangaroo was thrown into peril as the flaming meteors composed of dead sea life rained down from the heavens.
I mean, sounds about right. Is this Death Stranding 2 Baby Boogaloo? Is that what's going on here? But did you rescue the kangaroo? That's really the important part.
I did rescue the kangaroo.
Okay,
the kangaroo
good.
is safe.
Good.
Might be a little toasty on the edges, but I rescued the kangaroo. I thought the ladder would reach. It did not reach.
Nope.
So there was only one way through the fire, and that was with a hearty "Hatsa!" and running as fast as I could.
Yes.